All right, welcome everyone. Let's just be honest for a second. For so many of us in the research world, our systems, well, they kind of look like the early days of Pokemon, right? You've got everyone on the team just doing their own thing, using their own templates, with their own ideas of what professional even means. So let's dive into that and figure out how to fix it. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We all have this huge ambition. We want to be the very best. But the reality? We're often just patching things together with digital duct tape. Look, if your research process isn't consistent, you're not really building a brand people can trust. You're just wandering into the tall grass, throwing Pokeballs, and hoping something sticks. Today, we're going to change that. So what does this digital duct tape actually look like in the real world? Oh, you know what I'm talking about. It's those recruitment emails with no logo that look 100% like spam. It's the copy-paste errors that promise the wrong incentive amount. It's those consent forms that are buried in so much jargon you'd need a lawyer to translate them. Each little piece of tape might feel like a quick fix, but when you put them all together, you get a system that's actively pushing away the very people you need to connect with, your participants. So where do we even start to fix this mess? We start with the most visible part, the foundation. We have to build a visual identity that looks and feels legitimate and trustworthy. Everything else gets built right on top of this. Think about that first impression you're making. On one side, without any kind of standard, you just look like a glitch in the system, a mistake, a bootleg. But on the other side, with a clear, consistent identity, you look intentional. You look like a legitimate evolution. And this isn't just about making things look pretty. It's about signaling credibility from the very first second someone interacts with you. And you know what's wild? The first step is so simple. It's your logo. That little 240 pixel square is your visual anchor. Just think about Pikachu. You see that silhouette, you know exactly what it is. Yellow, red cheeks, lightning bolt tail. It's consistent every single time. An email that shows up without that anchor doesn't feel lean or minimalist. It just feels like spam. Your logo is basically saying, hey, I'm real. I am who I say I am. Okay, so if the logo is the anchor, then your email theme is the frame around the picture. You standardize the header, the footer, the color of the buttons. Now the content inside that frame might change. A different study, a different researcher, a different date. But that consistent frame tells the participant, hey, you're safe. You are still inside the same trusted system. It creates this environment that's predictable and secure. And this brings me to a concept that I just think is brilliant, the Ikoue Otani strategy. Now, if you don't know the name, Ikoue Otani has been the voice of Pikachu since 1997. In every single country, in every language, when Pikachu speaks, it's her voice. And that is such a perfect example of the power of consistency. That one single, familiar voice creates an instant feeling of safety and recognition, no matter where you are in the world. And that right there, that's the formula. It's a clear path. Consistency leads to recognition. That recognition makes people feel a sense of safety. And that feeling of safety is what ultimately builds real trust. When a participant gets an email and sees a familiar logo, a consistent design, and a real person's name, their brain runs through that exact sequence. So this isn't just about design, it's a direct strategy to get more people to show up and participate. Okay, so we sorted out our external presence. People recognize us and trust us. Now let's pop the hood and take a look at the internal engine of our research practice. How do we make this thing efficient, scalable, and, actually ready for the future? Well, the answer really starts with templates. And I love this analogy. Think of your templates as your regional variants in Pokémon, right? You've got your standard template for a simple one-on-one interview. But then you've also got a slightly more complex variant for, say, a focus group. They might look a little different, they might serve different needs, but they are built from the exact same core DNA. This is what stops your researchers from reinventing the wheel every time and making those small, costly mistakes. And having a great templated system like this unlocks a really powerful concept, minimum viable research, or MVR. Now, this is not about being sloppy or lazy. It's the opposite. It's about being incredibly disciplined. It's about running the smallest, most focused study you possibly can to get a quick yes or no on a hypothesis. It's like choosing the right Pokémon for a specific gym battle. You don't need your whole team. You just need the one that's perfect for the job. And here is why this is so unbelievably important right now. Everyone is scrambling to use AI to synthesize their research findings. But you know what? A lot of them are getting absolute junk on the other side. Why? Because they're feeding the AI messy, inconsistent data. Your standardized system, your templates, your consistent tags, it acts like an input filter for AI. It really is this simple. Clean data in means you get reliable, useful synthesis out. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? AI and automation are amazing, powerful tools, but they are amplifiers. They can't magically fix a process that's fundamentally broken. The teams that are actually winning with AI right now, they're the ones who put in the work first. They standardized their operations and they cleaned up their data. That foundation has to be solid. So let's shift gears a little bit. We've talked about the look of our practice and we've talked about the engine. But honestly, none of that matters without the human connection. And that connection is built on a very specific contract, the contract of consent. I just want you to hold this image in your head for a second. Ash's Pikachu, you know the one, who famously refuses to go into the Pokéball. He could be forced in there, he could be captured, but he isn't. He chooses to stay out.
And that refusal, that one act, it's everything. It's not a bug in the system, it's the most important feature. The second Ash stopped trying to capture Pikachu and started treating him like a partner, he earned his loyalty for life. Pikachu shows up, he gives it his all every time because he chose to be there. And your research participants, they are exactly the same.
Now, this isn't just some feel-good philosophy, it's a design principle. Your consent notice is not a legal hurdle you have to clear. It is your relationship contract. That means it has to be freely given. It has to be specific and unambiguous. You have to use plain language, not legalese. And for goodness sake, the opt-out button has to be just as big and easy to find as the opt-in. You're not trying to capture a user, you're trying to build a partnership. And if you need the business case for all this, here it is, plain and simple. When someone feels tricked or captured by your data practices, they become a reluctant participant. And what do you get from them? Reluctant, low-quality data. But the participant who feels like a true partner, the one who chose to be there, that's the person who shows up on time and gives you honest, thoughtful, amazing insights. So let's bring it all together. We've gone on this journey from a chaotic, duct-taped system to something so much more powerful. We finally reached the evolved standard. Just look at the difference here, side by side. On the left, you've got the duct tape stack. On the right, the evolved standard. We've replaced inconsistent, spammy branding with a visual anchor that actually builds trust. We swapped out manual errors for smart templates that save time and ensure quality. And most importantly, we turned a system that was eroding trust into a system of consent that earns real loyalty. This isn't just a pile of features anymore. It's a true research operation. And here's the best part. Unlike in Pokémon, you don't need to go find some rare, magical thunderstone to make this happen. Your research stack doesn't need magic to evolve into its next, more powerful form. It just needs a standard.